Thank you. Thank you very much. My dear brother, Iskil Omogbolawan, Mustafa Omogbolawan. Good morning and welcome to Maiyegun's Diaries sermon today. Thank you very much for joining me. The last video we did yesterday was taken down by Facebook. For some of you are not seeing the video again on Facebook. So it was taken down after, after the broadcast yesterday. But however, we move still. So if you read the caption of the broadcast, you can make your own contribution accordingly as usual. And I'm going to open the line for some of us who have been asking that we should open the line and let people call in and contribute. So we are going to do that today. Let me check the YouTube for others who are asking for the YouTube channel. I'm going to drop the link here. So our sermon today is going to be based on Nigeria as a failed country. How spirituality replaced critical thinking, and everything seems all right to so many people who are currently so kind of, we can't say they are bewitched, but however, we will break it down today. So let me drop the link, the YouTube link where you can watch for those who are watching on, who are joining on Facebook and would prefer to go onto YouTube. Just a moment. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ma wí. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ma wí. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Thank you. Now let's get started. So the caption of the broadcast, I hope the sound is quite good, yeah? Please let me know if you have an issue with the sound from your own end so that we don't get started and get stopped to fix that. So let me know before we continue. Today's caption, which is today's sermon, is about Nigeria as a failed country where spirituality has replaced critical thinking, religiosity replaced common sense. And then we will take on the latest rape of your government, the rape that your government has been perpetuating. And we won't stop talking about it. We know some of you are actually defensive, okay? We would love to defend your oppressors. We understand you are not alone. Your fathers probably defended the oppressors of their own era too. Your forebearers, maybe they did, or maybe they didn't. And you are just the black sheep in the family who has willingly, right, voluntarily submitted himself to the whims and caprices of the slave merchants. It may be you may be the one whose lazy, ignorant mind has pushed to continue to defend the same people who don't give a damn about you. You may actually be the bastard in your family that is the only person defending criminals in Nigeria, while you watch your family members struggle through day and night to make an end, to make a living in that Nigeria, while your oppressors live large and their children. You may actually be the only bastard in your family that is doing that. It may actually be a generational thing too. But listen, that you love your oppressors, that you respect them a lot, that you see them as role models. Listen, doesn't mean that everybody sees them as who you see them as. Many of us see them as criminals that they are, but that you have subjected and submitted your mind and your soul to praise, sing, and worship the same criminals who destroyed your existence is by choice. Okay, it is by choice. And by choice, I mean you have every right to support who you want to support. But you will do the world a great deal of favor if you can just keep that your ignorance within family or within the enclave that you currently find yourself, and don't spread it. Not all of us love to be slaves or mentally or psychologically defeated rather. Not many of us will submit to that. And therefore, you shouldn't force that on us. Some of us are so independent and free that watching you nurture the slavery machinery in that country makes our skins crawl. It makes us cringe. That how could people be so kind of misguided, and they are so proud in their ignorance and entitled too. So some of us can't keep it. Okay, so you should keep calm, because we are not going away. I know they have arrested the mind of many of you. They have managed to establish their fear, which is their trademark. They have succeeded to do that. But guess what? Not all of us have been affected by this. Okay, and that is why you shouldn't bring your frustration, okay, forced and enforced on you by the criminals you want to defend here. Don't bring them here. Okay. From my own research, do you know I found that 90% of those who are currently taking up as their own responsibility to educate or take on the criminals in Nigeria, they are those who are not really affected. They are those who are not directly affected by the criminality and the criminals in charge of Nigeria, their actions and all of that. They are those who are not affected. I am not affected. Let that be clear. And I believe that for those who have been listening to Maiyegun for a very long time, they will tell you, Maiyegun has told you that he has no business with Nigeria. I have no business with Nigeria. I've always said that. I don't. If there is any business that I have with that place, it will be a business with my own people, and I always made that clear. And I have alternative too, which means I can choose to be a citizen of any other country that represents my interests and protect me, than being forced to be part of a country that give no damn about me, where those who are supposed to protect me are those who are going to be hunting me down. Who want to live in such place except those who have accepted that slavery indeed could actually be a good thing, only if you submit yourself. Not all of us will submit ourselves to that. They are borrowing, they are mortgaging, they are squandering, they are plundering, and they are more or less like jinxing the future of those who are coming. Many of you are adapted. You have adapted to their way of governance. I have told you that if a country fails to give you an identity, right, it is not yours to accept the identity they force on you. You must always have that choice, the liberty to decide who you are. Nigeria is a fake country, and that is the reason why it is not working. It will not work for anybody, not even for those criminals in charge. It will still not work for them. You know why? Because the Nigeria they put together is not put together to work for anybody or to work for all. It is put together to work for them, and that is why it will continue to work for them, and that is why they will continue to borrow, and that is why they will continue to return loot. So you must always have choice. You must always have choice. When people tell you you don't have choice, sincerely speaking, they are not people you should be talking to. I live in Scotland, and this is where I'm going to start before I begin to throw my salvo. I live in Scotland, and the 8 years that I have lived in the UK, I lived it in Scotland, where I realized that you can be a part of a bigger country without losing your identity. You can be a part of a bigger country without having to kowtow to a laid down procedure or rules that are not in your own interest. It was in Scotland I learned that, and it was an opportunity. Nobody taught me that in school. I am a Yoruba man that if you put me inside a room right now and you put other people they call Nigerians inside that room, we will need interpreters for us to be able to understand what we are saying. Yoruba language can be used to manipulate other people because they don't speak it. I can stay in a room in a position of authority where I am expected to make decisions for millions of people from outside Yoruba land, and I'm expected to treat it right, which is normal thing to be done by reasonable people, not animals. But because Nigeria is a fake country that refused to really build a country that represents everybody, what they now did was that the opportunists who took advantage of the ignorance of the people to sell the fake Nigeria to all of us from primary school, from birth, primary school, secondary school, university, even throughout your work life. Some of you are retired pensioners right now. You still believe that you still don't know why you are unable to get your pension. It's simply because Nigeria is a fake country that you have been living in for so long, and that country has denied you your identity. And that is why, as a Yoruba man, I would have loved a Yoruba pensioner who will ordinarily believe that he worked for Yoruba land prosperity throughout his adulthood, and in the end, he deserved to be rewarded. But not in Nigeria. Nigeria doesn't reward you. Nigeria steals from you. Nigeria steals from you, steal your childhood, steal your adulthood, steal everything you have. Then at the end of the day, they will declare you as never existed. Because everything that should make you a Nigerian, make you a proud Nigerian, is stolen from you. I'm coming to that. I am a Yoruba man. And like I said, if you put me in a room with so many other Nigerians, right, we won't, and they say everybody should start speaking their own languages, right? So many of us will not understand what we are saying. You have people who now use this opportunity to promote tribal supremacy in a country that is meant to be one. A country that is meant to be one. These characters who now found themselves in position of authorities either at the federal or state level, they pursue the same agenda that is unknown to all of you, and they call it fake One Nigeria project. It never worked. It will never work. Now, what's the point I'm trying to make out here before we proceed? When I got to Scotland, I realized that United Kingdom is actually not a country. UK is not a country. UK is a conglomeration of countries. In fact, identified ones are 4 countries in a country. But I grew up thinking that UK, though we were reading it, they will tell you that you have Scotland, you have Wales, you have Northern Ireland, you have England. But in Nigeria, they refuse to promote the fact that it was actually a parliamentary system of government that give you your real identity. So if all of us are going to meet anywhere, right, we should meet as representative of our own people. But what they did was that they replaced parliamentary system of government with their pseudo federal system of government model after American style of a federal system of government. So they now sold a fake Nigeria to all of us through that. As a Yoruba man, You cannot, by any means in Nigeria of today, right? By any means in Nigeria of today, decide what type of government you want, what type of security you want, what type of economic you want to run, what type of educational system you want to run. How do you want to run? What type of a taxing system you want to run? You cannot develop that. Everything they did is just more or less like to pick your pocket, right, and keep you still in that contraption. In the UK, Scotland, where I stay, there is this identity which starts with one language. In Scotland, they have a language called Gaelic. And when I got here, it became more interesting for me, because I was like, okay, then they have this language which is generally English. And it was because they were also colonized by England. And historically, right, that's how they fused together. That's how this country came together. And they never, one thing they didn't do again is that they never stole all their identity like they did to us in Nigeria. Stole my Yoruba identity, stole my Yoruba language, stole my Ijebu language, gave me English. Then for me to be able to communicate with the rest of the world, I must be speaking English. In fact, I must be so proficient in speaking in spoken English. I must speak good one before I can be able to integrate. But in Scotland, yes, they speak English. Great. But in Scotland, they have the opportunity of making their own laws. They have the opportunity of printing their own money. They have the opportunity, right, of designing the type of government they want for themselves without any much interference from the general country that should have been the same blackmail they are using on us in Nigeria. Let's come back to the spirituality part of it. Nigeria is a fake country put together by the criminals called themselves leaders: Yorubas, Hausas, Igbos, Ishekiris, Fulanis, and the rest of them, claiming and entrenching what is called tribal supremacy. They were supposed to be building a country that should be won by all explanation, but they are not doing that. What they are doing is that they are building a system that nourishes and entrenches what we call tribal supremacy. And you cannot build a country through tribal supremacy. We are bigger than you. We are better than you. We are more educated than this tribe. And the people who actually promote this are the people who are supposed to unite you. That's the definition of that fake Nigeria. Now, yesterday, the news broke. Before now, you know all the story. I'm not going to bore you with that. But yesterday, the news broke that even in this coronavirus, where people who claim to love Nigeria, they are Nigeria leaders, Abi. Nigeria gave them everything. They live in free houses, even though they still steal money to build mansions. They live in free houses. They drive free cars. They eat free food. We clothe them. We buy their shoes. We even pay for doctors to check on them, even though we don't know how much they pay the doctors. We give them blank check to do whatever they want. But just one duty, one important duty: keep the people safe. Give back to people what rightfully belong to them. Just one responsibility: be responsible as leaders. That became a big story. That became the reason why we are having all this talk. And we won't stop talking. Okay? We won't stop talking.